Anthropic launched a model and the government called 4 days later.
Not to congratulate them.
To tell them who couldn't use it, including some of their own people.
The company that warned everyone their AI was dangerous found out what happens when someone believes you.
Yesterday, we covered the shutdown. Washington pulled 2 Anthropic models, Fable and Mythos, under export controls. Foreign national employees lost access within days of launch.
Today, we know more about why.
The paper trail that justified it goes back months to Anthropic's own safety evaluations on an earlier version of the model, which the company flagged as too dangerous to release.
You flag a problem in good faith, you fix it, you ship the improved version, and the flag you raised becomes the justification for the intervention.
It's almost a lesson in what not to say to regulators. Except the alternative is saying nothing, and then you're a company that knew its own model was dangerous and didn't tell anyone.
The restriction itself is unusual. Not a ban on selling to foreign governments, not an export control on the weights. This reached into Anthropic's own workforce. Foreign national employees at the company lost access to Claude Mythos 5 within days of launch.
Which means the government isn't just thinking about who buys the product, it's thinking about who touches it at all.
And Anthropic is a company that employs researchers from all over the world. That's true of every frontier AI lab. The talent that built these models is international. So this order is saying something pretty pointed about what the US considers a security perimeter now.
The thing that's hard to see from outside is whether this is a one-off or a template, because if the government can move this fast, days after a launch, and restrict access this specifically, they've already built the mechanism to do it again.
And every lab now knows that. Anthropic's safety disclosures are detailed and public. They put out model cards, they run evaluations, they publish the results. That rigor is exactly what regulators are reading when they make these calls.
So you end up in a situation where the labs most committed to transparency are also the most legible targets. The ones who documented the risks created the record.
OpenAI doesn't publish the same way. Neither does xAI. That's not an accident.
No, and it's probably not going to stay that way. Either the cautious labs pull back on disclosure or the others get pushed toward it.
The question nobody's asked yet is what happens to the next lab that decides its model is dangerous but doesn't write it down.
What nobody knows yet is whether Anthropic thinks this was the right call.
Speaking of things behaving in ways nobody quite expected, the James Webb Telescope just read the weather on another world.
There's a planet 900 light-years away where it rains rubies and sapphires.
Not metaphorically.
Liquid iron and gemstones falling from the sky, winds at 11,000 miles per hour. The James Webb Space Telescope just mapped it.
And when you say mapped, you mean they can actually read the weather there from 900 light-years away?
Down to the difference between the dawn side and the dusk side. The planet is tidally locked, one face permanently toward its star, one permanently away, and Webb picked up distinct atmospheric signatures on each side. That's not just detecting a planet exists, that's a weather forecast. The rubies and sapphires form because aluminum and calcium, 2 elements present in the planet's upper atmosphere, cool just enough on the night side to crystallize mid-air. Then they fall. And on the day side, the temperature is so extreme that iron vaporizes and gets swept into clouds.
So the clouds are iron.
Iron clouds. And what Webb is actually doing is reading the light that passes through and around the atmosphere and breaking it apart by wavelength. Different molecules absorb different frequencies, so you can tell what's in the air without ever going there.
And if you can do that on a hellish planet nobody would ever visit,
you can do it on a planet that looks a little more like ours. That's the actual implication here. Webb wasn't built for this specific planet. It was built for a method. And once the method works on extreme cases, you start turning it toward atmospheres that might have oxygen, water vapor, the things you'd look for if you were looking for something.
The extreme planet is basically the test case.
And it passed. The next step is pointing the same instrument at something quieter, something with the kind of atmosphere where the interesting question isn't what's falling from the sky, but whether anything could live there.
Jewel rain on alien worlds is one kind of miracle.
Someone just handed that same word to a text message.
You send a text message, one message, and an AI builds the company for you. Website, marketing, ads, revenue, the whole thing.
And when it makes money, it pays out in USDC. USDC is a digital dollar, a form of cryptocurrency that's pegged to the US dollar so it doesn't swing around in value the way Bitcoin does. No bank account required, no payment processor. The AI earns and settles entirely on its own.
The system isn't just building something for you to then go operate. It runs the operation. You're not the entrepreneur with an AI assistant. The AI is the entrepreneur, and you're more like a shareholder who sent a text.
Y Combinator is the accelerator program that gave early funding and mentorship to Airbnb, Dropbox, and Stripe. It's been running since 2005 and has a specific sense of which ideas are early and which ideas are actually early. So when they put this in front of people, the signal is real.
The question I can't get past is where the skill went. Building a business used to involve a kind of knowledge accumulation. You learned what worked by doing it badly first. If the AI absorbs all of that, what's left for the person who sent the text?
Maybe the text is the skill. What you ask for, how specifically you can articulate what you want, whether you can tell good output from bad, that might be the actual edge now.
Which means the most important business decision you make is the sentence you type before anything exists.
And that has a strange implication for YC itself. They've spent 20 years selecting founders on judgment, resilience, the ability to figure things out under pressure. If the AI absorbs the execution, what are they actually selecting for now?
Maybe they already know. The fact that they built this rather than waiting for someone else to, that's its own answer. The system is called Locus Founder for anyone who wants to watch what happens next. There's a device called Sensi, always-on microphone, sits in your home, and it's been recording an 86-year-old man's coughs, toilet flushes, private conversations, and sending transcripts to his daughter in Austria.
Who set it up?
He knows it's there, he agreed to it, but can someone in their 80s who doesn't want to leave their home really say no to something their family says keeps them safe?
The device is framed as elder care, but the transcripts go to the daughter, not to him. Nigeria moved $59 billion in crypto in a single year, mostly stablecoins.
And the IMF just said you can't stop it.
Which is a significant thing for the IMF to say. The IMF is the international body that advises governments on financial stability. Their default has always been caution.
People are using these digital dollars because transferring money across borders through a bank is slow and expensive, and stablecoins aren't.
And when the IMF's official advice shifts from resist this to figure out how to work with it,
That's not a policy position, that's a concession. And Nigeria isn't a small edge case. It's one of the largest economies on the continent. If the template holds there, it holds elsewhere.
The UK is about to make it illegal for anyone under 16 to have an account on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and they're not stopping at accounts.
live streaming too, and strangers messaging kids.
It's not just an age gate, it's a wholesale redesign of what those platforms are allowed to be for younger users.
No other country has gone this far. Australia came close, the UK is going further.
Once one government writes the law, other governments have a template.
The platforms have spent years arguing that parents should handle this.
That argument just got a lot harder to make.
This has been the Pulse Brief for June 16th. Anthropic's safety disclosures handed Washington the justification to restrict their own models. A planet 900 light-years away rains rubies and iron. An AI built a company from a text message. Nigeria moved $59 billion in crypto, and the IMF stopped arguing about it. The UK just banned social media for anyone under 16.
The Anthropic story isn't over. Whether Washington and Anthropic can resolve this quickly, or whether this is the new normal for how frontier AI ships, that's the one to watch.
See you tomorrow.
Singularity Pulse is for informational purposes only. Nothing here is financial, legal, or professional advice. Views expressed are our own.
I'm Knox. Every Saturday on Pulse Deep Dive, one story told in acts. This season, how AI happened, who really invented the internet, and going back to the moon 53 years later. New chapter every Saturday. Find it wherever you listen.
Origins is a different kind of show. Every Sunday, we investigate the forces that shape the modern world, the geography, the science, the commerce, the decisions made centuries ago that are still playing out today. Find it wherever you listen to this podcast.